Hello, brave, beautiful soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin, that transformatively awesome part of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. So today I'm talking about something that really ignites me, really sparks the passion in my heart. So last October, I went to something called the Positive Peace Conference up at Stanford University. And it was basically an all-day conference discussing world peace. And there was a lot of amazing people filling this room and a lot of amazing presenters and speakers sharing some really, really powerful stuff, some really amazing insights and some really in-depth statistics. And it was a really amazing time, and I'm very grateful that I had the chance to go and attend this event. In the process, though, they were addressing these global battles from an external position. Let's study the problem on the outside and then see what we can do about it. And I would like to offer an alternate perspective about addressing these global issues that are plaguing dozens of nations across the globe. Problems that have existed for centuries and have never found resolve. Problems that seem so vast and expansive and complex and in depth that hope seems difficult to grasp. I would like to offer an alternate perspective about how we can go about bringing world peace. When we look at these issues, like crime and violence is just one of many examples. The looking at it is from the outside looking in. Let's study the externals. Let's look at the physical specifics. Let's study the data. Let's analyze the problem that exists. From that space, we try to create a solution. But what if we looked at the consciousness of the humans in the problem and tried to solve things from the inside out? All of life is being created through human consciousness, individual decisions of these individual people that end up creating these problems like crime and violence, for example. Crime and violence in some places is such a norm, it's hard to imagine that area of the world existing without it. But it's all coming from human consciousness. So what if we looked at the problems from the inside out? What if we looked at the issues within human consciousness and solved the problems from that space of understanding? According to my miraculous inner being diagram of consciousness, chronic violence or being leaning towards a life of crime comes from overactivation of guardian parts without the opportunity for other parts of consciousness to become activated. So if we started to provide ways for normal parts, nightingale parts, and moppet parts to be fed energetically and stimulated within the consciousness of these individuals, and simultaneously provided means to deactivate the guardian parts within the subconscious realms of these individuals, we could actually experience a reduction in crime and violence. That's the power of addressing issues and problems across the globe from the inside out. We can look at the outside in all day, every day. We can analyze all the statistics in the world. We can look at the problems. We can talk about the problems, but that doesn't solve the problems. You don't get to solutions by focusing on the problems. That's not how it works. And we might make little dents here or there, but we're not going to solve these issues and create world peace effectively if we're only looking from the outside in. It's time to look at the issues from the inside out. Where are these battles coming from within human consciousness, and how can we address the needs of human consciousness so that these problems solve themselves, because the human consciousness that are creating the problems becomes healed. Everything we're experiencing comes from human consciousness. When we address the needs of human consciousness, we will know world peace. I am completely confident in that. And so I'm so grateful for this opportunity I had last October to attend the Positive Peace Conference hosted up at Stanford University. It opened my eyes to problems that I had been afraid to look at. But then I realized I have something to offer in this. I'm not helpless in this like I once was. I understand human consciousness from the inside out, and I know where these problems are coming from in the energetic realms of the inner beings of these persons. And that is where the potential for infinite solution lies and resides. Imagine a world where we understand human consciousness from the inside out to such dynamic depths that any problem across the globe can be effectively resolved by addressing the needs of consciousness within that realm of people. How incredible would that be? And it's possible. We are at a point, the history of the human species, where that is possible. My miraculous inner being diagram of consciousness explains, explores, and empowers human consciousness from the inside out, taking into consideration the neurophysiological development of attachment formation, the neurophysiological development of the triune brain, the neurophysiological development of the brain-body system, including the vast amount of different types of nervous systems. A miraculous inner being diagram of consciousness takes into consider brainwave regulation, nervous system regulation, development and accessibility of brain regions and memory systems. It takes care of all the physical stuff. It touches on all of that. It explains how it develops and how it contributes to experiences of consciousness. And then it explains all about the subconscious realms. How the 5 aspects of subconscious realms develops, how it operates, and how it impacts unfolding life experience from the inside out, how each of the 5 different aspects interact with each other and interact with the conscious mind and interact with the unconscious body. My diagram of consciousness explains all of this. And what if we could address global issues? Whether they be personal community issues here locally that we're a part of in kind of a small, a smaller unit of people, to the global issues, the across the globe, worldwide battles that large corporations are trying to address. What if we could go at this from a whole new angle? And instead of looking at problems from the outside in and attempting to fabricate some potentiality of a solution, we look at it from the inside out and create a more definitive, determined, decidedly effective route of addressing the problem, because we understand the core within consciousness where the problems are stemming from. I see infinite potentiality for the world peace that can be created in upcoming decades. And it starts with looking at problems from a brand new angle. Let's stop looking at the physicality of it. Let's stop looking at the external. Let's stop looking at the obvious, what we see, what numbers can analyze, and start looking at the consciousness from where these problems are originally stemming and addressing it from an energetic position of understanding human consciousness from the inside out. That is where the potential for infinite solutions resides. We are at a point where we can fight towards world peace. Or better yet, we can peace towards world peace. And it all starts with us, soul friends. We cannot create change out here that we have not already created in ourselves. We cannot help another person with their consciousness until we have helped the person that we are within our consciousness. We cannot provide solutions for anybody until we have provided them for ourselves. We cannot offer someone healing or help them along their healing journey until we have provided that for ourselves. We can only meet other people as deeply as we have met ourselves. And so, if we're helping people, if we're teaching people, if we're helping people medically, if we're raising children, if we're volunteering, if we're in any type of investment where we are pouring into other people in any capacity, it is imperative that we do the inner work. Because what happens when someone that we're trying to be there for needs us to meet them deeper than we have met ourselves? We will fail them. And nobody wants to fail another person. Nobody wants to say, I don't know how to be there for you. It's not something that feels good to any of us. So it's imperative that we do the inner work. We cannot strive to create world peace until we have created peace in our world. We cannot strive to help other people or guide them through growth or guide them towards healing until we have done that for ourselves. We must meet ourselves deeply. We must go inward. We must be there for our consciousness. Our entire experience of ourselves and the world around us is being interpreted through the modalities of activations within our consciousness. We cannot have power in our lives or offer to help other people step into their power until we have claimed our power through our consciousness by lovingly befriending all realms and all aspects and all parts of ourselves. And it's always a journey. We're always on a journey. But are we consciously embracing that journey? Or are we just addressing things when things get really bad? It's important to be there every day through the good and the bad, going inward and being there for our consciousness. That's where the magic happens. That's where the transformative, transcendent, delicious magic of a lifetime happens. And from there, our opportunities expand to grow and reach for our dreams and experience life in deeper ways, and to be there for other people in ways that can be more effective, more prosperous, more beneficial for the healing of this planet through individual lives. And that matters. That matters so deeply to our fulfillment as individual human beings and to the collective fulfillment of the transcendent evolution of our planet. So I invite you, soul friends, to dive deep into befriending the miraculous consciousness that carries you. You are contributing to global peace, worldwide expansion when you do that. And I have some tools to help with this process. My Restoring Consciousness Toolkit explores, explains, and empowers human consciousness from the inside out. You dive deep into the depths of how these subconscious realms are developed and sculpted, and how the neurophysiology and consciousness interact with one another. And from this space of understanding, you gain the tools, resources, and understanding to work with your subconscious parts. Step-by-step instructions about how to recognize them, how to respond to them, how to heal them. And there's flow charts, so at a glance you can say, I'm having this kind of thought, it's coming from this part of my consciousness, and this is why. These are the underlying fears, needs, and desires of what my part needs and why I'm experiencing this clue of consciousness. And here's step-by-step instructions and how I can respond to love myself deeper than ever before, reclaim my consciousness, and transformatively transcend everything within me so that I can be the best version of who I can possibly be. Step-by-step instructions. Easy, recognize, okay, let's see. I'm having this kind of thought. I do this, I recognize this, I tune to this. Walks you through all of it so you can do this at home. Healing has never been made more possible at home. And it walks you through personal power reclamation, what personal power is, how to harness it, what the benefits are. And again, step-by-step things you can do at home. Because we all have power, and a lot of times we're going out there like, maybe if I do this, maybe if I go here, maybe this person can help me, and yes, there are infinite tools. But the true power for true transformation, for true healing, for true expansion is within you, within your consciousness, within the energy of who you are. And my services and products with my Consciousness Consultancy always guide you towards harnessing your own power. So that's my Restoring Consciousness Toolkit. If you're interested, you can check out my website below for more information, or email me to order your copy at artistryofexistence@gmail.com. And I also have a series of guided meditations, and I also offer one-on-one consciousness consulting services where we get together one-on-one and share sacred healing space and dive deep into how you can befriend the miraculous consciousness that carries you. Explore what's happening within your consciousness, what you've been noticing in your world, your internal world, your external world, especially your internal world though. And from that space, we interpret the clues. You're feeling this, it's because of this. You're going through this, it's stemming from this aspect of your consciousness. And from that place of renewed self-understanding, we create a tangible plan of action so that you have the tools and resources you need to harness your personal power with love every day. And I always make sure to meet you where you're at and create something that you feel is truly doable in your everyday healing journey of life. So if you're ever interested in my consciousness consulting services, you can check out my website below for more information, or email me at artistryofexistence@gmail.com to schedule your call. And we just share sacred healing time and have moments of compassionate, tender connection, and then forge forward with what's going on, why, and what can you do about it so that you have more power in your life. So it's time. It's time. As a planet, we are rising into new realms of being. and world peace is becoming more and more possible, but it's never going to happen if we keep looking at the outside in, at problems from the outside in. We can't just look at the surface. We can't just look at the external. That's never going to create true change. Never. It will never create true change. I guarantee it. Because until the consciousness is addressed, nothing's actually changing. But that is becoming more possible. And I truly believe that all these issues that were being talked about at the Positive Peace Conference last October that I attended at Stanford University, and a slew more problems that I'm probably not even directly aware of at this particular moment, can all be addressed through a renewed understanding of human consciousness, because that's where all this stuff is stemming from in the first place. I mean, when we can step up towards problem solving by looking at the consciousness within, anything is possible. And I invite every human being on the planet to befriend their own miraculous consciousness. This is how we can be a part of world change. This is how we can be a part of creating world peace, by creating peace in our world, by creating change in our world. And when we heal our consciousness and reclaim our power within it by being a loving friend to all parts of ourselves, we carry that energy with us. And it pours into every interaction we ever have across the span of our lives. And we plant towards world change and global peace, worldwide healing in that way. Your healing journey is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to world peace. Big deal to world peace. So please, soul friends, please, 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 I invite you. I encourage you, I empower you. Let your healing journey be a big deal to you. Let your healing journey be a big deal to you. Let it be a priority. Let it be something you consciously invest in every moment of every day, or at least a few moments of every day to start with. Let your healing journey of life, as you claim your personal power and lovingly befriend the miraculous consciousness within, let your healing journey be a big deal to you. I promise you matter, and your healing matters, and your journey matters. I promise it does. And if every human being on the planet dared to prioritize their personal healing journey, we would know world peace. It would be instant. And so maybe that isn't a reality right now, but what is a reality is the power that you have within your healing journey. And you are contributing to healing the planet when you step into your power by prioritizing your healing journey with love. So I invite you to do that. I invite you into this new space of expansion for yourself and the well-being of this gorgeous earth that we live upon. Thank you so much for joining Conversations with Kristin, a transformatively transcendent aspect of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. I'm grateful you're here, and I believe in you. I believe in you infinitely. Infinite belief in you I have. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. I appreciate you so infinitely. If you could go ahead and just click the little like button, the little subscribe button, all the support on my channel really helps. I appreciate you so dynamically, so vastly, so infinitely. Namaste, soul friends. The expansive light in me sees and honors the expansive light in you. Have a beautiful and blessed, glory-filled day, soul friends. I will see you next time.